Oh, I am alive. Thank you so much for somebody who's still sitting there and giving me thumbs up. I'm finally back. It has taken me 15 minutes restarting computer, restarting the broadband thingy. So, but at least I'm here. Hallelujah. And now I forgot what I needed to say. Right. Thank you very much for coming back. Thank you for staying with me. And welcome to our afternoon tea with me, Sandra from Tiverton, Bead and Wool Shop. And for those of you who have joined today first time, because it seems by numbers that there's quite a few, you will need to go back to yesterday. And I'm quite chuffed. Yesterday we tried to paint eggs for Easter with onion skins. And you know, they came out like really awful and pale, and there was nothing happening. Basically, they came out like this. This is yesterday's egg, and I presume it is actually reasonably soft boiled because I was rushing, and I think they came out too early. This one is what I made earlier. Can you see the beautiful kind of imprints of the skins? And that has come out from what I had the mess yesterday left, and I thought like it has to work. I can't see why it's not working. So I stuck the mess back on, wrapped them again very nice and tight. This egg and this one went back in for another at least 15 minutes. So I would say if you ever attempt to do it, put it on a good 20-minute boil. And I know the eggs will be proper hard boiled, especially these two. We'll find out tomorrow. We are having them tomorrow for lunch. Martin wanted to have them today, but I thought, no, I have to show. And this one, to be honest, this one is the kind of the darkest one, but you can see how, and in the real life, it really looks much even more, the kind of, the batik effect is even more pronounced. And when you get them out of the boil, right, all you need to do, just take a little bit of butter on your fingers and rub them, and they will become nice and shiny, because when they come out and when they dry, they're kind of very matte. And then you just put a little bit of butter on and they shine and they make really lovely display. So there is my, oops, no, I can't show it to you without losing the eggs. So I have two nice ones and one pale. So they're about eggs. So we managed. So basically all you need is patience. And that is not my middle name, is it? So the first thing is, before I forget, I would like to remind you that next week on Tuesday, we will start a little knit along, sock along, where I will show you how I knit socks. And just a quick reminder for materials, you will need approximately 100 grams of 4-ply sock yarn. I will be giving you information for one size. If you then later on want to do it smaller or bigger, then I will explain you how you can adjust. And what I wanted to show you and as well explain, of course, I would like you to go straight away and buy a nice new ball of sock yarn. But here, coming to that, these are leftovers from this. Can you see it's ready? It's totally ready. And I'm wearing it. And I will take it off. And then we come back to the sock yarn. This is more interesting than sock yarn. Look. Couple these kind of afternoons back, that will be a couple days back, but this week, I think Tuesday, this one was just off the needles. And remember how kind of woggly, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it was kind of, it looked like nearly scrunched up. When you take your knitting off the needles, you know what I mean. And can you see how smooth this one is and how nicely the points sit like those ones? That is all result of blocking. I know it sounds very kind of harsh, but please refer to my earlier videos about blocking, and it's very, very easy to do. And you only need, like this one was on the blocking mat only for not even for 48 hours, right? So now we come back to leftovers. Oh God, can you imagine how we will all look in it if this continues for more than like end of April, how we will look by end of May? We will be kind of wild women and wild men. And that, talking of which, this morning I managed to persuade Martin to cut his hair. And I did it, and it's not so bad. There's a couple tweaks because he has very curly, kind of thick hair, so I can get away with murder. But even though we were yesterday on a telly officially advised by a professional hairdresser, do not attempt it at home. I did attempt it, and it works okay. So now then, finally, sock yarn. For the next week, if you want to join the knit along, you will need 100 grams roughly. That's how the sock yarn comes in 100-gram balls, 4-ply sock yarn. This is Malabrigo sock yarn, which I used in this one. And these ones are my leftovers. And when you look on these small balls, and that's what you can do at home as well, if you have leftovers and you think like, and you have knitted maybe something and you think like, well, actually you can do the socks, you can do lovely stripy socks, just do random. And, oh, is there enough for a pair of socks? This, theoretically, is enough. And how do I know that? Use weight measurement. Because if you have 100 grams in total on your leftover balls, whatever colors you put in, use your kitchen scales, put them on the scales, and if you have 100 grams there, that theoretically should be enough to knit a pair of socks. So yes, these ones have various weights in between, but if I put them all together, and if I kind of play with it, play with the colors, I should be able to make a pair of socks out of these 3 balls. So that's for next week. The other thing, just a reminder of my materials, so you get all ready. You will need double pointed needles, sets of 5s, metal or bamboo or whatever, doesn't matter. Yes, double pointed needles, you will need that. Somebody is just asking a question, and I always, because the live chat comes typed, I want to type the answer, but I guess I can tell you I don't need to type the answer. So, and then bore everybody else to tears. Yes, for next week, double pointed needles. I would say 2.5 millimeters or 2.75s. And for cast on only, you will need a pair of straight needles, same size as your double pointed ones. And I will show you how I start socks, how I cast on. And I didn't invent this method. Somebody told me, so it's kind of passing the knowledge, right? And yeah, we will next week, we will cast on, and I will show you how to join, and then you will be cracking on for a couple of days, and then I will show you how to start the heel flap and the rest. Right, so that's for next week. So we have talked about that. Other than that, how is your life in these times? Like I already told you shortly that I managed to cut my other half's hair. Oh, so that's a job well done. What else? I've been in a town, and I must admit the town is getting quieter and quieter, which is kind of, I have to say it's good, but it is really, really weird. And this morning, really, the only people, at least in Tiverton, there was a little bit of like 5-10 people waiting for chemists, and there was a couple of people in a bakery we were waiting to open, but other than that, really, there was nearly nobody on the street. Even post office I walked in, and the staff was working behind the glass, and there was nobody else. And you kind of think like you walk all the town and you basically don't meet anybody, which is great, but it's not really, it's very weird. It's very weird. And I must admit, I nearly, Martin said, like, did you really say that? I nearly said this morning, I actually miss my customers. So yes, we are kind of all anchored down nicely, and hopefully for a short period of time as possible. Now then, as I have finished this one, my finishitis, the project finishing is kind of on, yeah, I'm kind of accelerating it because I have this feeling I need to finish things. And this one is the shawl which I started before this one. See there, I think some of you who watched the podcast, previous podcasts, have seen this one. And I have yesterday added a couple more wedges. This one is again Stephen West from one of his, it's one of the shawls from his latest book. And which side is the right side? Oh, you actually are facing the right side. And it is mostly 4-ply yarns and kid silk. There is a beautiful kid silk detail where you do the eyelet row in the kid silk, so it's all very nice and soft and fluffy. And the interesting thing is it's very easy pattern. You know, it's basically chevrons. But the interesting thing is, can you see how, oh, if I put it like that, oops, no, don't put it like that, put the stitches back on. How much wider is this end of this shawl or scarf? See, this is that much wider than the beginning. So I'm slowly going wider and wider. So it's kind of like slight wedge. And I think I abandoned it because I felt that the length of the rows is getting, you know, the rows are getting longer and longer. And when you have long rows, it's always like, oh God, not another. Oh, thank you. You mean this one looks beautiful or that one looks beautiful? Somebody's commenting. Yeah, no, this one is quite nice. And as you can see, I've been addicted a bit to this yellow yarn, which I have used there and there. But what I did actually, when I started this one, I nicked the yarn. Thank you. Somebody says it's both. Yes, thank you. Well, this yellow yarn, I was on a white wedge there. And then I started this one. I thought, oh, I would like to use the yellow. So I snipped the yellow off there and used this one. But then I ran out and I ended up still unwinding another ball. So I still have this much left. So I'm sticking back yellow on that one. So we will be yellow. So they kind of are a bit too close for my liking. It could have been nice to have a different color scheme. But, you know, one has to use the yellow. Yeah, and the pattern is called, if you're interested, I think this book I've been showing you on numerous times, but the pattern I'm doing is called Quake Scarf and Shawl. So I presume my one will be a scarf because the shawl is again huge. It's like this one is actually the small version of this. On the pattern there is another section I can add. So yes, you can go big. Right. Oh, I kind of don't know. With this delay, I'm kind of have talked through nearly everything in 100 miles an hour. There were some things which I wanted to again remind. I think, and with this panic, I totally didn't look, but I will put links when I will save this video on the channel, so you can go back if you didn't had enough of me, you can go back and watch it again. In the comments, if you open the or there is like description, I will put a link to the West Yorkshire Spinners a pattern which is now out free for the knit along for the throw. The other thing which I just received email I was looking at before we went live is something coming from Shepies or whatever we pronounce, the Danish company. And it will be free crochet along or learn to crochet. I think it's called something like Grannies for Grannies. And I had the page open, but because I was restarting computer because I couldn't get live, so all the pages have been closed. So I will put a link because that one is coming through to one of the Shepies bloggers, but for love or money, I can't remember the name. And it's basically Granny Square Blanket, and it is perfect for somebody to try to learn crochet. And I will see. And it's, again, they use stone washed, which is nearly 4-ply. So again, we can use, you can use double knitting, just use slightly bigger hook. Obviously, your blanket will be bigger and you will use, yarn usage will be slightly different. But again, like there is West Yorkshire Spinners has really good £6.50 for 100 grams DK, where you can have a really nice bright colors, bright color combos. Just get like 4 or 5 colors so you have enough to play. And with like with all the blankets, as far as to learn the technique, you can always, especially with granny squares, you can add and chop and change. But I think as far as I looked very, very briefly, it will be various size granny squares into the blanket. And it looked really, really attractive. Obviously, they used really nice colors and all the rest of it. And yeah, so that one, I will put the links, and that again, all the patterns will be free. They always do a lot through to the Shepies official Facebook group. So if they have crochet alongs, there is always a lot of people doing it, and there is a lot of advice and commentary and so on, so on, so on. So you can go on there and log in and have a look at the links I will put under this video and as well on our Facebook page, so you can have all the information, because at the moment it is a brilliant time to really accumulate all these free ideas, free patterns, and then kind of maybe by Christmas we'll work through all of them. So now it's nearly like well, what if I need to go back to work in a week's time? I will not have time to finish all these projects. What do I do with all this I gathered here? So yeah, it is weird times. So I still have so many things we plan to do now. So at least the weather is changing to better, so we can do some outside work, because it's kind of weird. And I'm looking in my box here, which I still have, like, this is dining room, which has turned into the wool storage and antique chair storage, because as some of you know already, in the shop we have had quite a few antiques in lately, and of course that's all now kind of slowed down and the stock is piling up here. So the big boxes which came in a week ago, we still haven't managed to get to the shop, but all in good time, so not to worry. So what else? There was something else. Oh yes. I presume because I'm just talking to you, and sometimes I have a little bit of comments coming in, because I hope you all are working on something, you're doing something, be it knitting or crochet, or maybe even, like, I don't know, using yarns for weaving. Or please send me pictures. You can send pictures I can put on a Facebook to encourage others. If you don't want to be named, you don't have to be named. I can say anonymous customer. So you don't have to be worried if you don't want your name. If you would like to have your name with it, just send me the name with it, and I will put some gallery up on our Facebook page, or even on Instagram if I manage. So if you can email the picture to info@beadandwoolshop.co.uk, or you can send it, I think there is a way, because I had previously people sending me some of their work through to Facebook Messenger, and I found that I have a problem to actually get the picture out of Messenger and then put a good quality picture on the Facebook page. It was all kind of getting very fuzzy and weird. So if you email your picture as attachment, I think that would be the easiest way. And then I can put out something with, to encourage and show people that we are actually all doing something. On, oh my God, yes, I'm just, yeah. I am not letting Martin cut my hair, that's for sure. I think he would love to, but have a go, but no, that's better leave it. And yeah, with all this delay, and today I totally kicked out myself of this. There's definitely something else to cover. Oh yes, there is. I know Rowan is starting knit along with Felted Tweed and Alyssa Richardson. So please go on the Rowan site, and again there will be free patterns. I think there's even shopping list for you available if you need to. Or most of these things, again, you can use your leftovers. All right. So other things which I'm planning to do, nothing to do with knitting, but that's like a life. I'm a bit lost really. So I'm back by 12 o'clock. I'm back from the mail order sending, and then I'm lost, and I'm planning. So next tomorrow, I'm making pizza dough in the morning because we would like to have pizza. We used to have Friday. We always had some, supermarket pizza or takeaway pizza or something. And at the moment, we thought like we don't want to go for takeaway. We don't want to go to supermarket. So what's left is I will be making pizza dough. I have done it once in my life, and as always, I made so much of it that we had like the oven was too small for our pizza. So I will let you know how my pizza dough is going on tomorrow, because by 3 o'clock it should be already on the second proving. And yeah, I will let you all go today because we'll be short and sweet. And then I will what I will be doing tonight, I will do this. I will do a couple of wedges of that. I will need to start get the sock in the various stages so we can talk through next week. And yeah, there's still these two balls I'm showing you again. They are still bothering me, They are still here bothering me. But it might be, actually, I think, that's an idea. I think, the Shepier's crochet along, I will have a good look, and maybe there would be a good idea to use like a whirl or something like that, because that would be same tension. So and there would be a lot, and if you use whirl, you have really nice effect, and you don't need to stitch in ends when you change the color. So I will have a good look. I will put all the links later on today. I will put all the links on under this video about things we talked about, all these alongs. And yeah, I stopped rattling about it. And thank you so much for being patient today. And I hope tomorrow I will be back again and possibly on time. I seriously, I was here sitting 3 o'clock, pushing the button like mad. Possibly that jumped the system. So I will be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock, and I will try to push the button maybe once and not to be hasty again. So thank you very much and have a nice evening, and see you all tomorrow.